I gotta be the one you touch, and baby, I gotta be the one you love. I'm telling you that I gotta be the one you feel, and I gotta be the one to fill your life with sunshine. I gotta be the one you know, 'cause I will always love you so. I gotta be the one you need. I'm just telling you that gotta be. Yo, this Jagged
You're
is.
watching Miss Drama TV, so keep it
Drama
locked. It's
TV.
going all
Right
the way
there.
down. Yeah.
She stays on the tip of my tongue, tip of my tongue, tip of my tongue. She stays on the tip of my tongue. When we left the Def Jam situation, we put it out there that we was looking for a record deal, and through a mutual friend of Ted and ours, we connected. Ted just really believed in Jagged Edge. You know, I think we was all thinking about maybe doing the same thing, like some solo stuff, and you know, trying our hand at different things. But Ted really believes in Jagged Edge to the point it was like, you know, you believe this much, yeah, we can give you another good album and work our ass off to see what we can do with it and reassess after that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Release date is sometime in June. No exact date, and with records it always move around anyway.
Right,
So,
yeah.
But yeah, definitely look for us like the beginning of the summer.
And the way we record though, it's kind of never done until it goes to press. You know what I mean? We record year round, so
Okay.
if we come up with a song and we feel like it's strong enough tomorrow, we'll lobby to get it on the album. You know what I mean? So.
And you gave us jobs, man. At the end of the day, sometimes you just gotta leave the household and venture on and do
Right.
your own thing. You know what I mean? Be independent. You know, you can't depend on somebody to, you know, go in meetings for you and all this or whatever, or just try to make the phone calls. You know what I mean?
But I think, and in Jermaine's defense, Jermaine got a lot on his plate. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I think,
He only went through a breakthrough.
right,
Yeah.
a
Did
lot,
y'all call
personal
him
and
like,
professional.
look, it's gonna be all right.
But I think, you know, we was fortunate enough. Number one, Jermaine, he always gave us the creative control over our projects. So we were fortunate enough to come in the game, do our own thing while still learning from him.
Okay.
And we probably, you know, we can handle it on our own. Yeah, I mean, I see him, you know, out, what's up, you know, how you doing, that
Okay.
type of thing. We ain't really talked in a while.
All right. Did you ask him about the tattoo after the breakup?
Nah,
the
yeah.
Janet
Nah.
tattoo?
No, I mean, but you know
That's
what?
personal.
crazy,
You know
though?
what, though?
What was crazy though?
Yeah.
Be like, brother,
Didn't he
what's
get
good?
that like a month before they broke up? Like,
I don't know. I'm
Even
just
matter
curious.
because I know
Time,
how
that's
we
what that thing
kick
hurt.
it and we all fam like that, and we going to ask him that, but that's gonna be on the personal.
I know, right.
But we
You can be
gonna
like,
ask
brother,
him.
you all right?
Oh, we gonna
Are you
ask him.
changing that situation?
Yeah, we want to know. We got to know that, JK.
well, as far as the evolution of Jagged Edge, I think it's been a natural process, a maturing process. I think musically, any true artist, you kind of try to test your limits. You try to familiarize yourself with things that you weren't previously familiar with. And I think that, along with kind of the trends that kind of just go on in music every day, that helps you to evolve musically. And I think the rest is personal growth. You know, we grown men now. We started as teenagers, so we all grown. We all support our families, and you know, that's a lot.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I'm just so curious because I think you have that lasting power.
Thank you.
And why I say that particularly is because of the fact that you've been able to outstand a lot of these other bands. I mean, at one point, I felt like you guys were in this little mini controversy. I don't want to call it controversy with like 112.
Yeah.
And now we got, you know, the Lone Soldier Slim, you know, holding it down for 112. Talk a little bit about how you've been able to stay together. Is there a particular one in the group that is the glue? I mean, I'm sure there's been like between the brothers, probably like somebody in a headlock every now and then. You know what I mean? How do you get over the fights and the quabbles, you know, and little situations that arise and able to kind of remain level-headed?
You just let it go. I think you realize what's important, and you know, once it's like your parents used to always tell you, put your life in, you know, prioritize. And once you prioritize your life, then you know what you got to do is to sustain number one and number two and number three. And, you know, after that, it's just making the ends meet. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If you got to be the one to take it on the chin at one time, and you do that for the team. And I think everybody does that, you know.
How do you feel about some of these newer artists? Are you a Trey Songz fan,
Yeah,
Mario fan?
I'm a Trey and Mario fan. I love Honestly, I love everything that the young kids do. I think that it's a place for it. I
Right.
just think that sometimes when we as the music community jump on just one thing, then we lose a lot of other things. So I would like to just see the variety back. You know, like when I was growing up, I remember Michael Jackson and you know, he was 20-some years old and Lionel Richie was 30-some years old. They all shared radio. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes in the new millennium we kind of push the older guys out a little bit. But we giving it to you. You ain't gonna be able to push us out easy. So
Right. You're holding your ground down. So I mean, at the end of the day, if we all had to go toe for toe, you can, you know, you ready to get the dirt with me. Would there ever be a singing competition like, hey?
I hope not.
Like
I'm not so silly, right? We're gonna win if it is. That's what I'm saying.
We're gonna work for that.
You're disappointed by some of the artists that are out there as far as what they've done. I mean, and not saying that I'm disappointed in these artists, but how about like Pretty Ricky? I mean, Lingerie. You know, when you hear about artists like that?
One thing about it though, like you gotta understand, there's a market for that. I mean, they still did some justice to the little girls who were fast out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that was for the fast girl market. Little young middle school girls who was a little ahead of their time.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like, you know, that's still a market. So you really can't.
But
you know that.
I think to me, once you get to the point where you've had some longevity, you kind of need to be careful with the opinions of others that you put out there, because some of those people look up to you. You don't want to smash. I don't want to smash nobody. Like I think it's all good, valid offerings.
They try.
You
You know
know what I mean?
what I'm
They
saying?
try.
They in the studio. I mean, and they trying their best.
They went to work today, so we happy for that.
You know what?
Get around them, Flock. Get all on around
We used to give them a headlock back in the day, like, oh yeah, but then you think about it, you know, you're getting older and it's like, you know,
I can't tell you like just how many artists you just named. They come to us like, you know, I grew up listening. I love. So you know, I'm proud of what they do all day.
No, we're not trying to shoot them down. I'm just curious. You know, I mean, if you had to give them some advice, would it be like leave, you know, the women's clothing?
No. A lot of time, what do you?
Would it be like don't take that, you know?
A lot of time, what is you just grow out of that? You just grow out of that. That's all it is.
But a lot of it is they search to stand out and to be authentic. And to me, that search to be authentic is what it's about anyway. You know what I mean? You just want to fall around, you know, some better.
Your choices just might have not been the right ones. Like, you know.
Panties, you know, might not
They
have
were
been
young,
the best.
they were young, boy. You know how you are when you hot.
I mean, were y'all playing with panties when y'all?
No.
We got pennies thrown at us on stage, but that's like that.
He's a good friend of ours, so he was all on Columbia for a long time. So that's why.
Were you excited about that and seeing kind of how he kind of emerged from like
He a dude that really deserves it, you know what I mean? Like a hard worker, down to earth dude. Like I remember when we first met him, you know, when you think of, especially at that time, you thought of Maxwell, you just wouldn't think you could get somewhere with him in a club in a corner and drink a beer and kick it, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what we used to do with him. So he's just a good, deserving dude, down to earth dude.
Definitely.
And then also like Jennings is I know he's making his return.
Good old Columbia alumni.
That's right.
Sound in Columbia, baby.
Right. And then I mean one of my favorites, D'Angelo.
Yeah.
I mean I heard he's making a comeback.
I hope so too. It's really about time.
Yeah. So I mean, are you surprised? It seems like 2009 really was a lot of artists, not just R&B but hip hop, and then 2010 again. Do you feel like there's like a trend right now?
Yeah, I think the people want it. Like you know, like everywhere I go, it's almost like, man, y'all gonna give us something, like we need it, la la la.
Right.
And it's like the same sentiments for a lot of their favorite artists. That don't just apply to Jagged Edge. And I think after being gone so long and seeing the music scene change so much, you want to bring some of that tradition back.
Just saying, there's a lot of artists that as they got up from under situations that, you know, some of us was thrust into, whether by choice or not. When we got up from under those situations, it's like you listen to the radio, and the radio started to sound like it used to sound. From Jay-Z being hot again to, you know, even Slim of 112 getting another shot at the radio. You know what I mean? I mean, and us getting another shot at the radio. I mean, I just feel like it's starting to sound like it used to sound. And it's taken a lot of us as acts to come up from under them situations we was in, without naming any names, you know what I mean? But that's what it's taken.
Influx of artists and everybody, whether it's on the corner to your aunties, nephews, who feel like they can sing, who feel like they can take on the caliber of a Jagged Edge. I mean, what is your advice to some of these guys?
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe I mean, I ain't trying to be funny just because you said Jagged Edge, but we do sit home and watch shows, and I mean, sometimes you gotta just be real with yourself. Just because you love music or you love to sing.
Some people don't know, bro.
And you're right. So somebody gotta tell them.
But hey, you know what I tell a lot of people who come up to me and sound like, you know what, it's nice, but it may not be singing. It may be something dealing with music. You may be behind the desk. You may be a manager. You may have like great input, but you don't belong there, boo. You don't belong there. Okay? That pen and pad, there you go.
All right. How do you deal with the criticism of those who say, oh, you know, they're not going to be however, you know, as they once were? How do you deal with the negative comments?
I would tell them, number one, we're not trying to be what we once were. I think what we were in 97, 98, like I said before, it's a natural maturing process. If you still where you were 10 years ago, it's a problem. And I think for people, the real fans, they understand that. Those fans who kind of get on because it was a certain record they love, they might not understand that. But we're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep shooting at it. At the end of the day, we give a true offering of ourselves. Like we give our music is personal to us, and that's all we can do.
For sure. And you know what else I think when people make those statements, like with me, I was always informed about my favorite artists. And you know, if you informed about us, you'll know that the chemistry that came to making music and making hits is still right here. Not to knock JD, but the core writers of this group is all sitting right here. The people that made the hits are sitting right here. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of time when you worry about your favorite artist getting back to whatever point, you got to worry because the whole chemistry around them making that success has changed. But with us, like I said, it's all sitting right here.
Do you feel any stress or pressure to kind of prove yourself now that you guys are coming back in this time?
A little bit, yeah. I feel it only in the sense that I want people right now, this new generation of music listeners, to know what it is that we do.
Right.
Like it's been a while. We've been away for a little while. I want them to experience what it is we do, and not even in a selfish sense, in the sense that, you know, when I was growing up, I got Guy, and I got real good offerings of music, and I want them to have the same thing. You know?
And your fans also appreciate when you can reapprove yourself over and over. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like, you know, every time you come out, they want to see something better or see something different.
And that group
that's
bringing
good. You know what I'm saying?
And the group bringing it at the same time. Like, oh man, they really took the other side. Yeah, you know.
So, I mean, right now, do you think there's any misconceptions that people have about you that you'd like to clear up right now? Anything that people have been saying over the years, or you feel like everything's pretty accurate?
No, we don't know.
Yeah, we ain't no thugs, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's something followed us for a while. We ain't no thugs, no troublemakers.
Although we will confront a situation like men, that don't make you a thug. And I think, you know, a lot of people just, cause you heard something, we really don't want to know right now, cause we're gonna confront it as men.
All right.
Relevantly, my mind is for a moment, girl. No, that ain't no lie. In a second, she'll be walking back in, looking extra good, and always on